I've been now around long. I think of myself as a young guy, but I'm not so young anymore. And I've been around for a long time. And it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. Now, it shouldn't be that way. But if you go back, it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats
Well,
than
it
the
certainly
Republicans.
did well under Clinton.
Well,
but I wouldn't suggest it was so great under Jimmy Carter.
That's true. That's
if
true.
you remember,
That's
the interest
true.
rates.
No, I know. It's Jimmy Carter was not in the same thing, but certainly we had some very good economies under Democrats as well as Republicans. But we've had some pretty bad disaster under the Republicans.
If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
That bell marks a new record high for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, going to close above 37,000 for the first time ever.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and the stock market hit an all-time high, and they're talking about impeachment. That was a statement that Donald Trump made back in 2019 in response to being held accountable for his criminal activities.
When you put together, this is an amazing tweet from Donald Trump, when you put together the politics with the economy, this is in 2019, then President Trump tweeted this, quote, "You mean the stock market hit an all-time record high today, and they're actually talking about impeachment?
Wow.
Will I ever be given credit for anything?" wrote Donald Trump in 2019. There you have it. You know what they say, there's a tweet for everything, Joe.
The 2019 impeachment that Donald faced was on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. His second impeachment was in 2021 for inciting an insurrection. Donald Trump is a common criminal. While Joe Biden may have a lot of problems to worry about, a felony indictment is not one of them. Joe Biden has had a historic first term as president. He has upstaged and outclassed Donald Trump at every turn. In spite of all of Joe Biden's accomplishments, Donald Trump chooses to stand in defiant opposition to the truth and continues to spew garbage. Donald is lying. Alternative facts are fabrications and fodder for the tabloid magazines, yet he continues to double down with disinformation at every opportunity.
Donald Trump lives in his own reality and he lies casually, but he's very, very good at it. He used to teach me, Stephanie, as long as you keep repeating something, it doesn't matter what you say. And I will bring us back to 2019 when Hurricane Dorian was coming. And Donald Trump wrote on a map that it was going to hit a part of the country that it wasn't going to really hit, even after being briefed by the National Weather Service. So this is something he's done over and over and over, and I really hope that people will understand that this is just what he does.
The truth is that Donald flip-flops on his views depending on how he thinks it makes him look. One day he will be for something, and the next day he will be against the same thing. If he gets caught, he lies about it. Donald is not credible, yet he manages to manipulate his followers into thinking he is. Are people really that stupid to believe Donald Trump in the face of overwhelming evidence that he's lying? The answer is yes.
These Democrats are ruining our country. They're just hell-bent on turning this country into a communist country. And they're going to try socialism first, then it'll go to communism, and we can't have that.
Where do you see that you're talking about evidenced in the last few years?
Trying to go to socialism? Well, let me think about that, because there's lots of things, but all the regulations, big government. The government just keeps getting bigger. Hiring IRS agents to go after we the people, we the taxpayers that work to support the lazy Democrats that refuse to work. And that's why we need Donald Trump. Everybody in this country needs to work if they're able.
Right, but our joblessness numbers now are quite low in this country.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I'm going off the metrics that we use for every president and every administration. The Department of Labor statistics say that we have very low unemployment now.
How can that be? How can that be when we have...
I'm not a labor expert, but I'm going off the numbers that we credit Trump and Clinton and...
illegal aliens in our country that are unaccounted for, and just because there's jobs out there, that's not Biden's doing.
I'm not saying. I'm just talking about the current state of affairs right now. Whatever presidency, whether it's like I said, Clinton or Reagan or Trump or Biden, we go off of Department of Labor statistics to say where the joblessness rate is, the unemployment rate, inflation, all of that. So right now we are in a good spot historically going by that metric. The one that we credited Donald Trump with is the one we now credit Joe Biden with. So I'm asking, what is it about this time that makes that different for you?
What has he done to improve our country? What has Joe Biden done to improve our country?
I'm not
Destroying our country. He's destroying our economy. You can bring up the jobless thing, but our country is being destroyed.
Can you get
From
more
within.
specific? Though I mean, I'm just asking because I have no horse in the race. I'm just asking what it is specifically.
I don't know. I'm not well spoken enough to tell you that.
The Trump faithful are a lot like him. Admitting the possibility of ever being wrong is not something that they think about. Donald gives them the permission they need to remain ignorant without guilt. This is why he loves the undereducated. They are loyal in spite of it all. He can tell them to ingest bleach and sit on a black light instead of taking the COVID vaccine, and they'll do it willfully. The bottom line is that Donald Trump is held to a double standard by his followers. They always want to say that there's a two-tiered system of justice that favors Joe Biden, but it's they who are living the lie. Donald Trump appeals to bandwagon jumpers and disgruntled individuals who are frustrated with life. These are the same people who fall for get-rich-quick schemes and lose everything in the process. Many of these jackaloons are sitting in jail because they attacked the Capitol following Donald Trump's lead. Many other Trump supporters suffered side effects from sucking down tubes of horse dewormer instead of getting a vaccine that Donald himself rushed out to get. Donald Trump lives by a do-as-I-say, not-as-I-do mentality. This is the basis of the two-tiered system of justice that Trumpaloons are always screaming about. They want to hold everyone else accountable while giving Donald Trump a free pass. Donald Trump is a liar. The economy is doing well and interest rates are projected to start falling next year. Donald Trump is like Chicken Little, always crying about the sky falling. His followers are like sheep who are easily duped. This is the reason that the GOP wants to destroy public education. An undereducated crowd is easier to manipulate. Donald Trump is a low-life con man that wants to continue his grift, and that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.